Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This one's from user Infliction468. My girlfriend, 18, and I, 18, are fighting over and over again about which stuff I, in her opinion, did wrong. But as soon as we talk about her messes, she starts crying and, in the worst case, tries to harm herself. What should I do? So, a little backstory to that. I got together with my girl about 11 months ago or so. I knew she had massive mental health problems when I met her. She already had therapy for life-ending actions and that kind of stuff, but honestly, I couldn't care less about that. So, for the first few months, everything was really great. We both were happy and just normal couple stuff. But later, there was a sudden turn in our relationship. My girl started to become really jealous over any girl I even looked at. No joke. I had to explain myself for hours just to make her realize that I didn't want anything from girl X or Y, and this happened more and more often. I just thought that it was because of her past, but since about 2 months ago, she wants to be with me like 24/7. We can't move in together yet, which isn't the problem if we wouldn't fight so much over senseless stuff. I have to invest like 10 or 11 hours daily for my work. During this time, she is mad that I'm not texting within 15 to 20 minutes after she sends anything. Additionally, she wants to be the only thing I think about. She doesn't give me time for myself and is quite selfish. When she doesn't have to go to school, she sometimes forces me to stay on the phone with her until I have like 2 to 5 hours of sleep left. My weekends only revolve around her, from Friday after work until Sunday night. Meaning I have to be with her at all times. I thought, well, this should go away over time. It didn't. Then, about 2 weeks ago, she told me that back in December, a boy kissed her. I was mad at her, but forgave her without too much hassle. Then 1 week ago, she told me that back around Easter, she slept with a boy who she knew I hated and that had been abusive to her in the past, but still went there like at 2 a.m. She said she didn't want to, but couldn't resist. We spoke a lot about this, and I ended up forgiving her again because of how abusive that relationship was on her. Now, 1 week later, we keep fighting over and over about the same BS, and she says I don't love her, etc. Just to clarify, I talked with her about everything I have a problem with and listened to her side and fixed my part on that problem. But each time we argue, she breaks out in tears and says that she is so sorry, and then the next day it's back to fighting again. I currently feel very abused in this relationship, but I want to get it to work again. So I'm asking for some advice on how to do that. Okay, well, I guess we all know that what OP has to do is that instead of trying to fix this relationship, he needs to break up and block this person and hope that she gets some help somehow with a therapist or something. Maybe talk to her parents and get them to help her out, but this is not something that OP needs to solve. Now, the real reason I wanted to read this story and share it with you guys is because I'm curious about something here. We've seen this pattern more than once. Somebody is in an abusive relationship and instead of trying to get out, they just try to fix it from within and keep, digging themselves deeper and deeper in this abusive hole. So my question to you guys is, why does this happen? Or why do you think this happens? Do you think people that stay in relationships like this have self-esteem issues or have a hero complex or something of the sort? Why do you think it happens? Let me know in the comment section, and in the meantime, let's move on to the community comments to see what kind of advice OP got from them. Bells Vieta says, "You are being abused and manipulated in this relationship and you need to get out now. It is a toxic relationship. Here's what you need to do. Call her parents. Explain to them what's going on and that you want to break it off. But you are worried about her mental health and life-ending tendencies and are worried if you break up with her without them to take care of her, she might harm herself. Ask to go to their house with her to break up so she has a support system ready to take care of her. They probably are aware of her issues already. If they aren't, they need to be made aware. After you break up with her, block her on social media and block her number. Do not contact her again. If she shows up somewhere to see you, call her parents. She needs more help than you can give her. I have seen people in relationships with people who threaten to harm themselves when they get into fights, and it never ever ends well. Girl in red costume says, she's abusive. Love is giving and receiving. When only one person is doing all the work in a relationship, it's not healthy. She's showing that she doesn't care enough about your feelings to stop behaving like she does. That's a sign that she values herself more to the point of being really selfish. I know mental health issues are really effed up to deal with, but this is not a reason to accept abuse. Love yourself enough to stand up for yourself. Unruly Mida says, mental health can really put a strain on a relationship in any case. I think the fact that she gets upset if you look in any other girl's direction is her insecurity, which is something she has to work on by herself. Of course, you can help with that, but it's mostly on her. The fact that she cheated on you after getting so upset, it's a huge red flag. You need to be straight up with her, tell her how you feel. She will probably get upset, but that's not your fault. You need to make sure that you are at peace as well. She needs to understand her actions have consequences, just as much as yours. Good luck, love. Take care of yourself. Okay, so OP did get some advice on how to fix the relationship, but I think this has no fixing at all and OP just needs to leave. These are not issues he can fix. This girl needs help, and not one that he can give, like the first commenter said there. One thing I will say is that even though OP's girlfriend has massive issues, that doesn't justify her cheating, and OP just forgiving her because she has issues was not the right thing to do. Maybe OP should have used that as a way out, but I guess he's too deep into it now. What do you guys think? Well, while you think about that, let's continue to the update to see what ended up happening with this roller coaster of a story. So, as you've read on my first post, I was in a very abusive relationship. I sadly realized that when it was way too late. I got in major trouble at my job because she wouldn't let me sleep when I came from work, so I had a maximum of 2 to 5 hours of sleep each day. It went so far that I almost got fired. And it also affected my relationship with my family due to the lack of contact with them, which increased daily. Now, my initial post was 4 months ago, and this is what has happened in that time. It got worse. Everything got worse. I became very angry due to just being frustrated with the situation and destroyed a lot of my stuff. Every time we fought over something stupid or I said something she didn't like, she would say something like, "I'm leaving now," or "I'm going to hurt myself," or "I'm going to end my life," or my favorite, "Go to your exes, I know there's something between you." There wasn't anything. I haven't spoken to her in like 12 months. It got to the point where the only things I would do were go to work and see her. I wouldn't do anything else. I stopped seeing my friends during those 4 months due to her manipulative behavior. It took a lot of time until I realized that she wasn't there for me, but only for her own advantage. It took me way too long to do something after all, but I ended it like some of you advised me to. Last Saturday, I talked for hours with her mom. My now ex-girlfriend had gone to a party. The mom understood what I said and supported me breaking up with her the next morning. When I broke up, my ex said she couldn't understand why and kept calling me an a-hole and a liar, etc. After I left, it took only a few hours until she wrote me a text saying she's sorry and understands my decision. She kept playing victim, but now I just didn't buy into any of her games. Long story short, yesterday I told her I'm turning my phone off because she kept texting me. This escalated and then both her and her mother were calling my mother and sister, sending audio messages in which they asked that her mother and my mother would talk to each other so my ex and I could work things out and get back together. The good thing is that my sister knew from the beginning what was going on, and I told my mother a few weeks ago, so they knew that this could happen, but I didn't think that she would actually go that far. Of course, that didn't change my mind, and I blocked her on everything. Since then, I haven't heard anything from her. So far, I'm no contact and am as happy as I could be, considering everything. I feel free again. Well, OP did it. He broke free from that abusive relationship, so good for him. Now, what about that mom? At the beginning, when OP talked about, them having the conversation and everything, I thought the mom was kind of like a sane person who knew what was going on and actually said, yeah, you need to get away from my daughter because it's not gonna be good for you. But then she's helping the daughter, sending messages to OP's mom and sister, trying to get them back together? That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, why would she do anything like that? Anyways, in the end, what truly matters is that OP was able to get away from that relationship and is now, feeling a lot happier considering everything that happened to him, which, going through an abusive relationship like that, must leave you with scars. Now, what surprised me is that OP stayed 4 months in the relationship in between posts, going through this whole thing, almost getting fired and definitely hurting his relationship with his family. Why is it that when we look at something from the outside, it's so easy for us to just say, oh, what a simp, he was letting her manipulate him, or, he should have gotten out of there sooner. But when you're in it, it's really difficult to see that path, right? What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comment section. And so we've reached the end of the video. I truly hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe to reach our goal of 100,000 subscribers. Also, if you feel like chatting with others from this community, you can always join my Discord server and check out my subreddit. I'll leave the links in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next video.